11 years after being kidnapped, Ellie finally came home, only to vanish again mysteriously a few days later. Her frantic parents immediately called the police, who launched a massive search near the house. Meanwhile, Ellie avoided people, bought gasoline at a gas station, and hid it in a corner of a warehouse deep in the woods. When she got back, her mother Mary anxiously asked where she'd been. Ellie just responded coolly that she'd gone for a walk. Her father Jack pressed her more urgently with concern, but she only said she needed some space. At dinner, Jack suggested visiting the Christmas market. Ellie suddenly smiled for no apparent reason and mentioned how happy riding roller coasters at amusement parks made her. Her parents grew increasingly alarmed listening to this. They had never taken her on one. Beaming with happiness, Ellie explained that the person who took her was actually her kidnapper. When Mary tried to cut her off, Ellie continued, expressing gratitude to that person for helping her relax and saying how happy she'd been. Mary couldn't take it anymore and pointed out it was kidnapping and brainwashing. Looking her mother straight in the eye, Ellie shot back that although she'd been rescued, she felt utterly miserable now. Clearly, Ellie was suffering from Stockholm Syndrome. Years of captivity and brainwashing had twisted her dependence on her captor into feelings of affection, even making her perceive his abuse as kindness. That night, Ellie went into the small cabin as usual and had Matthew lock the door. Mary spotted flames lighting up the sky outside the window. The warehouse was on fire. Jack rushed to Ellie's room and found it empty. He sprinted to the warehouse, but the door was locked from the inside. He screamed Ellie's name into the inferno while Matthew was consumed by guilt. After the fire was put out, only a charred body and a gasoline canister remained in the warehouse. Eve confronted William, demanding to know what happened during the 3 hours after he left when Ellie first disappeared, and why she came back only to set herself on fire. William felt something was off and was determined to find out the truth, starting with figuring out what happened during those 3 missing hours. He visited nearby gas stations until finally someone remembered Ellie buying gasoline. This allowed the police to narrow down their search area. With Ellie's death, the trail to find Sophie went cold again. Eve went to the prison to ask the butcher about Sophie's whereabouts, but he insisted he had never kidnapped anyone and didn't know Ellie or Sophie. Her hospitalized father refused to believe Ellie had killed herself. He blamed Matthew for locking the door and accused Mary's harsh words of breaking Ellie's heart, driving a deep wedge into the family. Soon after, Eve delivered an unbelievable update. DNA results from the cabin remains confirmed the victim was indeed their daughter Ellie.